Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I know it's a difficult session because I think the hall 2 had a lunch break just before my session. Uh, so usually I have a practice of not having lunch before my session because I may fall asleep on the stage, for all you know, right? Okay, jokes apart, but good afternoon, everyone. Hope you have been having very, very insightful sessions since morning and having an exciting day. Now, I myself just braved the Bangalore traffic from Koramangala to Hebbal. I'm coming from Koramangala. And I have come here all the way from Mumbai, not very far. But when I hit, it was raining heavily, the flight got diverted, and I landed. And not that Bombay traffic is the best, by the way, for all the people from Bangalore, a consolation. But what I realized when I came to Bangalore, not that I belong to Bangalore, so I'm not aware of most of the roads or flyovers or the U-turns, whatever you call it. And unfortunately, my day starts with nothing but AI. I'm sure all of you know this, I don't have to teach this, but I'm talking about Google Maps. And why do I say about that? Because what it did while I was coming here as well, that it was showing without Google Map, when I was asking my driver, he said, sir, 1.5-2 घंटा lag jayega. When I used the Google Map, it showed 45 minutes and I reached, Google Map was also incorrect by the way, because when you put Hilton, it shows ahead. You have to put Hilton Convention Center, right? Then it takes this turn. Mind you, so AI also needs to have a lot of domain expertise. If you just use AI without having a specific ask from it, it can misguide you, by the way. But anyways, thankfully I reached on time, well before time, and here I am. It also reminded me of one thing. Sorry, I have to, somebody will say, why are you not using the clicker? Sorry, somebody needs to, is it? Okay. I asked the organizing team, why do you need my photograph? I don't know whether they liked my face or the photo itself, but they said, no sir, it has to be there. So bear with me, it is not my publicity, it's the format template given by the organizing team. Disclaimer. Okay, so this is what I'll cover, but what I would want is to give some live examples to make it more lively, because I'm sure, I personally am not a scientist. I'm from the less intelligent background, which is business, sales. Scientists are truly brainy guys, IITs, right? I don't even belong there. So bear with me if I don't speak much of science. But I'll ensure that I'll speak some live examples which may help you or at least be insightful. Okay, this is what I was talking about. But anyways, I'll not go through this game. Now from maps to what the AI has done today and what I understand today, and I don't know if anybody in the room or otherwise have found a solution or it exists, at least not in my knowledge. What I was not aware when I was taking a flight, that Bangalore is full with, today at least, a kind of flu in the air or virus in the air, and I got caught yesterday with that. If you hear my voice, it's not how I sound. But what would be interesting to see is, from my profile, and we all know that all of our lives are basically tracked, right? We agree or disagree. But what I'm trying to say is, if they know my profile, if they know my travel pattern, if they know when I'm supposed to fly where, at least they would have alerted that there is this in the air, carry this medicine, carry this, carry the mask. Maybe I'm expecting too much, but things to think about, that because I'm talking about AI, how it is impacting our lives and it surrounds us, Maybe I'm expecting too much. But I think that's where the world is, right? And people have started expecting so much that I can't even tell. So while I was reaching my hotel yesterday, uh, usually I try to stay closer to my office so that I can walk and I don't depend on the driver and the Bangalore traffic. I can't bank on that. So what I was looking at is, how do I order something? But there I found something interesting. I use only two apps, uh, Swiggy and Zomato. Now this is a Zomato. I'm sure all of you would have heard about this. If not, sorry, it doesn't work here. Okay. Something about this. Again, I'll not speak what is there already in the slide. That's for you to read. What I found interesting is, as soon as I opened, it suggested, basis my pattern, basis my location, basis the rains in the area, what food to choose, which will come quickly, what time of the hour I'm ordering, so that they know that I'm hungry at that time, because it's almost 10:15 at night. And they suggested me first that this time, second, looking at my pattern, this is what you should have. And looking at rains, they also suggested that maybe this are the dishes that you should go for. But that's something intriguing, and I loved it because personally I felt that somebody is doing a good job. Maybe some of us in the room may not agree with that, but I personally felt nice about the suggestions that they made. And it can differ, right? Because it is my version versus your version at that point in time, right? Okay. Oh, while I was waiting behind, the ad was all about this. It's a double-edged sword. Unfortunately, most of the, even maybe if you see some of it repetitive, I would have to blame my marketing team or the team which has written the content for me. It is not, never think that a CEO writes a content. It's like the FM never writes her content. The undersecretaries do all the job. So if any CEO in the world says, including Mr. Pichai, that I have written, and unfortunately I had a good fortune to meet him couple of times for certain other thing in US, he also admits the same thing. So I'm assuming if he can admit, I should also. But there are a lot of teamwork before we come on this stage and talk about something. So the double-edged sword that I was talking about is that this is good. This does a lot of job, but sometimes it scares me because everybody tries to blindly copy and follow, and which I keep talking to my team, that do not undermine the capability of your mind or intelligence, because I found it still difficult that where we are not able to kind of pin the intelligence itself, how do you pin the AI? I have no answers. If people have the answers, we'll happy to know. But while I'm here, I feel this is what it is, right? Does it simplify? Does it make it more complex? So basically what we're trying to say is give a word, it makes a long paragraph, and then again you ask long paragraphs, say make it one sentence. Might as well you could have done it. So it depends what is the use case that you are working upon, or what is the use case that you will be using the ChatGPT or AI for, which I think we miss the essence, because we are, everybody, wherever I go, wherever the conferences that I attend, nothing to do with India, across the globe, everybody says three things for sure: deep learning, machine learning, AI, Gen AI. I don't even know whether those organizations truly understand the meaning when they say that I'm using this. Most of them I hear using those words, I see it's still traditional form, and including our company. I would not be able to claim that all the products that we have or the solutions that we offer to the market uses Gen AI or AI or ML. No, it doesn't. We don't. So I think you have to leverage the AI to the right way and make it interesting when you're solving a pain point, right? Okay. I was a little scared by seeing the Deloitte ad. You know why? Because the concept that I was supposed to talk, the image was there on the last slide, people who were attentive on watching the Deloitte, the onion, right? It's like an onion, right? The small bulb is what the GenAI is, and every layer is, as you keep peeling, brings out the interesting facts on how it works. So whenever you think of anything to do with AI or ML or neural networks or deep learning or Gen AI today, you should think the easy way to explain is an onion. The center bulb and then the layers around, right? I'm trying to simplify things, maybe a little complex. That's why I said my friends here who are scientists may disagree with me. So what is machine learning? It is a subset. It is nothing but a subset which, sorry, I have to look at the watch as well. So it constitutes a subset of AI in which machines acquire knowledge for data, but rather than explicitly programmed for a task, machines are presented with examples, okay? And allowing them to grasp how to accomplish the task autonomously. This definition is not created by me, it's given by my data scientist team. This is how they understand. For me, what I understand is you make the machine learn, train with data sets to give the output that it would need. मतलब ये मेरे को 20 साल पहले भी पता था. There are smarter folks across the world. How many people from marketing field are here? Anybody? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know how to package it. That's what here as well. ये था पहले. I'll tell you how. I'll give an example. If anybody doesn't understand Hindi, please rate so that I can give examples. Otherwise, to make it a little lighter, I use the regional languages sometime. I remember, because I come from a very, very modest background, from a very tier 5 town. Nowadays, we tier the towns. So, I mean, my dad couldn't afford vacations. Today, my kid says, I'll go to Paris. हम तो भाई summer vacation is मामा घर या मासी जी का घर, right? But दुनिया को तो दिखाना था. So when I used to go, I mean with my parents, एक दिन evening को Saturday बोले चलो हमको कहीं जाना है. कहाँ जाना है? It's nothing but the next door photo studio. Or after 3 days, I see an amazing picture at home. You know what is that? We had been to Shimla, Manali. मैं बोला यार हम तो कहीं गए नहीं. So the green screen used to be there, and then that used to be shown as that you are there in Shimla, Manali. आपको लगता है इसमें AI था कुछ? इसी में किसी intelligent ने पकड़ लिया, and we created something. I can just skip that and go to that slide for you, maybe. Sorry. And I'll come back to this. Sorry, I don't know if that has got, this is the one I'm talking about. So today, you see Charlie Chaplin in a spaceship. ये तो 20 साल पहले मेरे पापा मम्मी के साथ शिमला मनाली में भी था, वो picture, photo studio में. So somebody thought about this, used technology, presented it and packaged it in a different way, which today we call AI or a Gen AI. इतना simple, इससे ज़्यादा simple मैं नहीं समझा सकता, sorry. Okay, now let me go back for people if you have got scared. I will not go through so many things. Okay, I was here. So this is a nice way to, I feel, nice way to explain ML. You pour the data into this big pile of linear algebra and then collect the answers on the other side. The other person asks, what if the answers are wrong? Keep stirring. Tell me if anybody disagrees. That's what it is. So I've tried to simplify the concept as much you can. If you ask this question from a scientist, you see those slides with a lot of verbose, is what a scientist thinks. My data science team has given those definition to me. But I'm trying to make, these slides are from me. Wherever you see a lot of text is from my data science team. So you can blame them, honestly, okay? Yeah, so that's the process, how you work on MLs. I'm trying to go a little fast on this because I'll come to an interesting part which is more live, all right? So deep learning, what is that? Can be linked to an advanced version of machine learning wherein ML is akin to utilizing rudimentary tools to address a problem, whereas deep learning employs a more intricate instrument, namely neural networks, drawing inspiration from the complexity of the human brain architecture. I have to read this because, as I said, I can't go wrong. They have instructed, sir, galat nahi bolna. I said, bhai, de do. Okay. But what I'm trying to say here, this is what it is. Simpler executing and no manual feature crafting. Nothing more, nothing less. Right? Earlier what I said is what it is. It's how you present. So I'm taking the marketeer's route. This is the best way to tell people what I want to say, right? Okay, what next? I'm doing the peel of onion, right, from the bulb to every layer. Next is what is a buzzword today. The Gen AI represents the creative facet of artificial intelligence, distinguished by its capacity to produce novel data rather than solely analyzing existing information. Then there are models. I keep hearing VAEs, GANs, and maybe if you want a boring session, I can touch upon all of that. But I would want to believe that post-lunch, nobody wants to go into sleep. So maybe I'll touch. But this is what it is. This happens to me quite often in my office, almost every day. I ask something, I see quickly somebody is typing on the computer. Same thing. तो मैं नहीं पूछ सकता क्या? मतलब, I ask the human brain to work, they ask again that. See, the biggest challenge in all of this, while we may laugh, the serious point to think is, and which is what I said, and I keep debating because we have products, if anybody knows about Perfios, we are not so famous, we're a small company, but we power the financial industry, India and across globe, some countries at least. The thing that AI can do, and I keep hearing from my friends in the industry, from the people who are trying to create similar products, similar logics, they said, I'll use ChatGPT, I'll use this. I said, very well, and I see some results because internally we have multiple teams which keep challenging us that how far you can replicate same. What is missing, you know? You are trained on a certain data set, and I will not get there when I speak to Big Fours. Pardon me if any Big Fours are sitting in the room. The present really, really wonderful, powerful, impactful slides by showing me how I will die. Okay? So it's like selling an insurance by instilling a fear that one day you will die, policy low. So it becomes very difficult. But what's interesting to note there is, what is missing is, the doctor can know my pattern, only thing that he can't predict is if I step out of this room and meet with an accident. But otherwise, doctor knows my health pattern and can actually suggest this can be your life expectancy, and we know truly what is the life expectancy in India, and hopefully if some of you are interested, I can talk offline. What is the biggest asset for India today? Sorry if I'm going a little off topic. You know what is the one thing that helps India when we compete with other progressive countries or so-called developed? Yeah, so it is known as, again, this is marketing, they have taught me. So use the word demographic dividend. So that helps. Because if you look at US, Europe, it's more, population is more towards retiring side, so it will take time for them to catch up, whereas India is absolutely at a place where we can use this youth to go there. What I mean to say is everybody knows the life expectancy, everybody knows the insurance policy has to be sold, everybody knows why I need to use the Big Four report. What is missing is when Big Four also suggest, they're hearing from people, forming an opinion, they know from you, they learn from you, present it in a better form. That's what is taught in the MBA colleges, which I am one product. I listen from you and present. They also do. On a serious note, what I'm trying to say is, in AI, the one thing that is missing, which you can not ignore, is the domain expertise or domain knowledge. As much you have feed it, only that much you will get from the data set, and you keep feeding. But please understand, now there are enterprise solutions which you are hosting, which we also do, which are not allowing this knowledge to go outside. So how do you think the AI or Gen AI or ChatGPT will learn? Maybe today there is no solution, somebody will come to that as well. Hopefully you understood what I tried to say. Okay, this is for all of you to read. We use multiple models within Gen AI, LLMs typically. And I will come to that a little later, a while. Sorry, I don't have much time though. So I'll touch upon a bit which I have already spoken, but let me skip all this. If anybody is interested about this, I can take a class outside, but what we are trying to say here, and the decoder, encoder, everybody knows, the people who are on this field, but what I feel the problem here is, it's like an artist who can distill the essence of an art, then create a similar but new versions. And it doesn't create one version, it creates multiple versions. Right? But which is the one that you would want to use? You use statistical model to fine tune that and get to the one that you would use. But the challenge here, when you get to some really tough data sets or data points, what we struggle is that we don't know, and we have had some examples here, where we tried to use data of image of a person, face of a person, and siblings and no siblings. They look alike, and there are movies in Hollywood, I forget the name, A Beautiful Wife or something, right? So there, he's not a sibling, but he is close friend, and they look alike. Now, actually, the model that we built, it failed in the first time. It said they are siblings. We used this model only, but it failed. So what do? We have to go again retrain by using more data sets, and then it actually was able to identify, and we did this as an experiment, that okay, he's not a sibling, he's just a friend, looks alike. So that's the problem statement I'm trying to say. While it does solve a lot of problems, but it leaves you with a lot of questions in your mind from an accuracy standpoint, okay? And the reason I'm saying is because we deal with very serious data in the regulated space. Why people use us as a brand is because of the accuracy, right? What the AI can't guarantee is the accuracy part as of now. Happy to understand from people if somebody has a challenging thought outside the room, but that's what truly we face. We get similar kind of data, but accuracy, nobody, none of my product team, data science team, nobody is able to guarantee me that. If they are not, I can't go out and say, use this, it will work. Okay. I'll not spend time here, we all know it. I've already spoken. Let me go here. Yes, I've already spoken. What it does is, it makes enemies the friend to make the world at least a peaceful place in our mind. Whether it will ever happen, I don't know. Okay, this is interesting. Maybe a couple of minutes. So autoregressive models, we all know, it's nothing. Past is used to predict the future. And the word says it all. So it's more about when an author writes a book, he knows, or when a Bollywood movie is scripted, we all know the latest famous series, when a author wrote Fauda, we never thought that there will be same thing happening today in Israel, pretty much. But they try to predict a little ahead in time and then script, then write. It's nothing but same thing. I hope people understand this. If you want theory, it is here on your screen, but nothing but that. So you predict a little ahead of time and then use that, right? Yeah, okay. This is autoregressive. Like this. If I actually scan the systems of my employees, this is what I'll get. Okay? You don't know which one is right? That's what I was trying to say. You don't know which one is fitting your use case. But this is how it is. How do I? It can be any. So how do you train the model on that? That's where the domain comes, right? That's what I was trying to say. I don't think if I'll just keep it for 5 seconds in case, but this I think I can share separately. I'm not getting there. Again, I mean the life cycle, boring for me, but in case anybody is interested, defining the use, I have 5 minutes more, they're saying. Okay, sorry. But this is what we face as a company, okay? And this is what I feel the typical challenges industry-wide, but I'm trying to narrate what I face, okay? Data scarcity and privacy. All of us should be cautious about the DPDP. People who have not heard, not read, Google, read. We may, I mean, if this goes well, and I just had a meeting last week with the Finance Ministry and MITI, and we were discussing about this, how to implement, what are the things to cover. It's serious. And if we do it globally, we will be setting a benchmark, how it is to be done. But I'm assuming that it will be an iterative process. But what I'm trying to say is all models are data hungry, and the counterintuitive is getting the data is that much difficult. It will be more difficult. Now tell me, how will you train the model? When I ask the data center, kitna data pe chala hai? 1000. How much do you process a month? Sir, 1.5 billion. मैं बोला इस पे तुमने मॉडल बना लिया and confidence है? नहीं सर, वो तो नहीं पता है. बहुत मुश्किल है, right? So that's one. The second is the costly annotation, right? Why it is important and where we can use this. It is not only time-consuming annotation, but I feel it needs a subject matter expertise, and I'll keep harping on that because very simple example. All of us, if people know what do we do for living, we do all kind of financial statement data and all of those processing. Now, a couple of years back, I got a bank statement which said, which read as small int. And my team said, int, in a bank statement, people all use banking products, right? What does int mean? Anyone, quickly? Huh? Somebody said, interest. Exactly, it's a short form of interest. You know what was the actual thing? What the machine failed to read? It was actually not I, because it did not have a dot, but machine read it as I. It was L, it was LNT. Now, इसमें domain expertise नहीं होगा तो आप बताओ भाई AI कैसे चल जाएगा? आप interest, you understand the difference between an interest and L&T as a company name? It's hell and heaven. So I'm just trying to give some examples how difficult it is, okay? Monotonous tasks, this I face every day, and my CHRO is unable to solve. Boring काम करता हूँ सर रोज. So it's monotonous. तो boring काम को कैसे आप, मतलब you come over it is by using AI. We have a lot of improvements there. People are getting excited about it. But I think this is a brilliant use case which we have done internally, where most of the data engineering team or most of my engineering folks who are creating these products, they say, repetitive job. Can you give me some challenge? How do you give challenge every day? So The rudimentary stuff, the basic stuff, AI can take care. Very intelligent stuff, you have the engineers. It does two things: creates unemployment. No, it doesn't. It puts the right skill at the right place. So you don't have to hire so many people, which I keep saying to my team, why do you need so many people in a product company? No answers. AI also can't answer. Need for human interaction, I think, to incorporate a personal touch in customer support. This is a brilliant, we have done it, successfully done it. And even if you go today to our company, very, very less human interaction, almost nil, right? And I think it saves a lot of time into training the individuals how to do it. And not that we have reached the destination, but we are evolving. Really good stuff that I get from the team. Some people would know that we work with Amazon. I mean, we are cloud agnostic actually, but I'm saying we created something with AWS, and today we are used, and there we have used AI and ML. What we do is, this is a little dated data, there's much more, but we have used AI to process a lot of stuff which used to require human intervention, completed through AI and ML models. And I feel that's a real use case, supplemented and complemented both ways with the expertise of a domain. If you can do that, nothing like it. But I felt this is important to highlight because this is what typically we face in our field. Okay, this is the complexity that I feel. There are, and I can only talk about my industry. What is the complexity? You think all banks are alike because everybody is offering you similar or near close products. So if you go to SBI versus HDFC versus a HSBC, everybody should give you similar experience. Product to ek hi hai. No, so there is a problem. There's a legacy, then there is a mid segment which is HDFC, and then there is a recent segment which is Yes Bank, let's say. Don't hold me for quoting the names, they should be just in the room. But what I'm trying to say is there are complexity, because there are banks which will say deployment and architecture has to be approved by my InfoSec team, and this is what is the requirement. The little progressive bank will say, on-premise chodo, cloud pe karo, but it has to be my cloud, private cloud. Third, they'll say, okay, I'm okay with your cloud, but these are the conditions. But your product team has built a product using the models, which is only deployable in cloud. So are you going to say no to the traditional banks? No, right? So I think this is where people don't think the complexity and the deployment implementation challenges. What I'm trying to provoke here is that you need to think of the use case in a much greater details and the complexity. This is what I've spoken, so I would skip this. This is interesting. We have roughly about 1,000, the latest figure last month I was just reviewing, about 1,030. This is not just India, but across the globe. Present in about 18 geographies, about 1,000 plus APIs and microservices. What does it mean? About 1 million, just giving 1 million, it is actually a little more combinations, humanly possible, impossible to deal with, right? That's where I think the big focus on ML or AI. I would not just say AI, but even machine learning still helps. And that's where I think we provide this kind of complexity seamlessly across the segments of financial institutions that I have spoken. And on top, I have just spoken banking. You have shadow banks, which is NBFCs. You have fintechs, which is much more agile. You have capital markets, which is different, which operates with a different governance structure. You have insurance, which is also a financial institute, which operates in a different guideline. And then on top of it, multiply it with the geographies that you are present. How do you deal? Humanly impossible. I think that's a great use case for AI and ML. How our system work? So typically there is an input layer, output layer, and we have the hidden layers. Obviously, we have to win our bread, so some things are hidden. But it helps in the development, the overall life cycle, the design, the support, QA teams specifically. Because earlier when manually people used to build test cases, most often than not, we will slip on the timelines because they will say, "मेरे को और time लगेगा." Client never, I mean, client PO देने में 6 महीना लगाएगा. The expectation is next week you have to go live. 6 महीना भूल गया. So that means I have to automate most of the processes in-house first, before telling the client, you digitize and you do all that. Not that we have done all, huh? So, but what I'm trying to say is the internal confidence matters, and how you build those models, how you will implement those to automate your own processes is a big help. Okay, we utilize a lot of low code, no code. This is a very abused word. I sometimes fail to believe actually truly is low code, no code exist. I still have not figured out the answer. But whatever we try to do using that is to orchestrate multiple journeys in a very seamless way, in a faster way. And that is only possible because of the models that we have created using the artificial intelligence. This I've spoken, so I'll skip again thousands of document digitization. This is what we do. If there is no machine, this is what will happen. Happens in certain government offices. Again, if anybody from the government bodies are there, pardon me, still happens. Don't take the example of Bangalore or Bombay or Delhi. Bharat is much bigger. Problems still exist. In a particular state, because this is a IT hub of the country, everything if you compare with Karnataka is wrong, but at the same time, Karnataka is not a sufficient universe to extrapolate and say, ho gaya. Still this problem exists. Go to a smaller town and you will realize it. Can be sorted, is getting sorted, okay? Again, I think people are looking at me. I don't have time, so I will skip all this. In this field is amazing, using a lot of forensics that we use today to prevent fraud, minimize it. We have not gone to zero. It's not possible also, but I feel it is not possible without using AI or ML. When you create a persona, when you create a profile, when you try to create a digital footprint, when you try to see how it can be overlaid onto this segment who are doing frauds across globe, very difficult things. And I think there we have done an excellent job in terms of taking the leap ahead by using the AI models. So I thought this is it. Again, I will leave all this, but these are some of the use cases: automated annotation, human validation, hybrid approach, continuous improvement, cost effectiveness, and focus on complexity. Again, I have slides explaining all this, but I think, unfortunately, these are, as I said, these are given by data science team, which is not favorite for me. But in case anybody wants any details, I can. This is what I'm trying to say. Thankfully, we are able to catch that it is a robot or it is you personally. Right? With this, I end my session. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, I don't know whether they allow me to take it here. Otherwise, I'll take it outside. Sorry, this is a very vast topic. 25 minutes, 30 minutes is not good enough. I don't know whether I've done justice, but hopefully it has kind of created curiosity in you to think AI and ML a little differently than what you do today. Thank you.